PK in the universe, and I'm on the road again with another video. And today I'm here to talk about Evercade again. I've actually tried to re-record this like 6 times, so we'll see if it works this time. Anyways, yeah, I've been kind of a negative Nancy about Evercade these days. Bit of a negative Nancy, honestly, not gonna lie. I unfortunately have just not been too excited about Evercade, so I wanted to talk about Evercade again, probably in another negative way. I'm sorry, but I want to be honest with you guys. I want to be real with you. You know, Ed from Evercade Effect, he made a video recently, about 2 weeks ago, talking about, is this the worst year of Evercade? And I have to say I agree with him. I have to agree with him. I've been down in the dumps about Evercade lately. I bought 3 Evercade cartridges all year. 3 cartridges, man. That's all I bought all year. I bought the Duke Nukem collection, which comes with Duke Nukem 1 and 2 remastered. And you know what? That's why I got that collection, was those 2 games, which are pretty darn good. And then I bought, which of course came out last year. And then I bought, of course, Indie Heroes 3, which was an absolute banger card. The Indie Heroes collection, you can't go wrong with those collections. I love those. You know, it's great stuff. And I think it was better than the previous year, absolutely. And then I bought Pico Interactive 4, which came with Glover, which is pretty cool to see an N64 game come to Evercade. I had made a video talking about how I didn't think that was ever going to happen. And if they did, they'd be like really bad games, you know. And Glover, they, you know, did a lot of work to make that a reality, to put that game to work on Evercade. It's insane, because it should literally not work on Evercade, you know, and it wouldn't in its original state on the N64. And I still question it, you know, not to wear a tinfoil cap here, but I really question whether that really is on the N64. Is that really being played on an emulator on N64? I feel like it's more likely that this game is a native game than is being played on the PC version that's been heavily modified. It just seems more likely, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist. But anyways, because, you know, I'm a crazy person. But anyhow, so those are the only things I bought in 2024 for Evercade-wise. The only thing I've been genuinely excited about is the Technos Hyper Megatech Super Pocket. That's been the most exciting thing. You know, that was the big bright spot for me for Evercade. And I just am not excited about these other collections at all, honestly. And I had a conversation with somebody the other day about, you know, it was on one of my previous videos, you know, and I kind of went off the rails there a little bit. You know, I want to apologize to that person. I don't know if they actually watched any of my other videos, but basically we were talking about, you know, Glover on Evercade, and it kind of like I kind of went off the rails a little bit on that one, so I want to apologize there. I'm not too, you know, egotistical that I can't apologize, okay? You know, I know when I, you know, overstepped my bounds there, and I wasn't like defending Blaze or anything, just kind of defending myself. You know, I think I misread the situation. But anyways, so enough about that. But the more I've been thinking about N64, the more I've been thinking about PlayStation games that are on Evercade, the more I realize Blaze needs to change, okay? Blaze needs to change. It should not have been this much work to put Glover on Evercade, okay? Under normal circumstances, most people, most developers would not go to this much trouble. They just really wanted that on there, and they must have felt challenged, you know, and decided, hey, we're going to do the impossible. But they really wouldn't have needed to if the Evercade VS, Evercade EXP, was more powerful. Ultimately, this is me talking about how I think Evercade needs to change, and they need to make a more powerful system. They need to stop with all these variant systems. How many Evercade VSs do we need? How many Evercade EXPs do we need? How many Hyper Megatech Super Pockets do we need? How many more of these bar top arcade Evercade alphas are they gonna make? How many more of these do we really need? The answer is we don't really need any more. We're good. We have plenty of ways to play OG Evercade cards. But you know what we don't have? A system that'll play better stuff, honestly. Like the Lara Croft Tomb Raider collection on Evercade. You know, of course, it is the original trilogy, so we're not getting the other 2 games that are on PS1, so maybe there'll be a volume 2, who knows. I think it doesn't make a ton of sense to buy those, because honestly, as I've talked about on this channel before, I have a PS3. In fact, my most popular video on my channel is a PS3 video. And I could buy all those games for about $2 or $3 less, honestly, on PS3 store. And yeah, and not have to waste shelf space if I really wanted to play those unaltered games and didn't really care about a box and a manual. The same can be said about the Legacy of Kain games. Those are also available to buy on the PS3 PSN store. They are pretty darn cheap, honestly, too, and much cheaper than it would cost to buy that game collection. Much cheaper, and you get a more modern controller, obviously a PS3 wireless controller, that already works. You just download the games and they just work. And the PS3 is stupidly cheap. The PS3 is just about as expensive as an Evercade VS. So it kind of begs the question, why would I buy it unless I just really needed a box and a manual and a cart? That's the only reason you would buy that. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But what really doesn't make a ton of sense to me is why they are going with the PS1 versions. Because the original Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the first one, has additional content on the PC version. And Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, the sequel to Blood Omen or whatever it is, that game, there is a Dreamcast version of that game, which is more high res. It's like basically a low-key remaster. So it really begs the question, if the Evercade was more powerful, why in the heck would you need these PS1 versions? That's really what it comes down to. Does Blaze want to give gamers the best possible experience? Because if you're using the PS1 versions, are you getting the best possible experience? Not really, to be honest. They're kind of low res. But that's the inherent flaw of Evercade, is the fact that it's just not very powerful. Like I said, it's insane that they got Glover to work. But man, if they just had a more powerful system, they would never have had to go to all that trouble to get that to work on Evercade. So yeah, I think overall Blaze needs to start looking to the future if they're not already. I hope they are looking to the future. You'd hope they're looking to the future. You'd hope they're not continuing to make more variants that nobody asked for, to be honest. I mean, nobody asked for all those variants of those things. Like, how many Evercades do you need? How many? It's insane. But yeah, that's my honest to God thoughts. Should a future Evercade system be backwards compatible with the previous Evercade cartridges? I mean, you'd hope. You would hope that it had an Evercade cartridge slot. But I would also hope a future Evercade system would have a bit more security, because I think if it had more security, I think it would entice more publishers and developers to perhaps consider putting their games on the Evercade platform. But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts? Does Evercade need to change? Are they heading in a different direction with all these PS1 early 3D games? Or do you think they're just, going for that? They're still going strong on that 8 and 16-bit era type of games. Comment below. Love to hear what you had to say. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay awesome in this universe. Thanks. Bye.